Cynthia Nixon and Andrew Cuomo engaged in a debate, the one and only debate for the gubernatorial race in the state of New York. And they spoke about a number of different issues, but the topic that really piqued my interest was that of money in politics. Now, Cuomo had some fascinating things to say about money in politics. Let's hear.
Here's my ethics plan. No outside income period. Full financial disclosure. And campaign finance reform, because we have to take the money out of politics. It's that simple.
Okay, we need to take the money out of politics. It's that simple. Just recently, the Young Turks reported on a story that David Sirota broke, by the way, indicating that Cuomo decided to drop an investigation into prosecutors in the state of New York who refused to file charges against Harvey Weinstein. An Italian model had accused him, Harvey Weinstein, of sexual assault. She provided evidence of that sexual assault in the form of a recording. And prosecutors decided not to investigate or to press charges. So when that story broke, Cuomo was like, this is out of control. We need to investigate the prosecutors and figure out what happened. Cuomo then received $25,000 in campaign donations from the law firm representing Harvey Weinstein at the time, and soon decided to drop the investigation into these prosecutors. I'm mentioning that because Cuomo gave us some proof that he himself is a very corrupt politician. $25,000 was all it took for him to drop that investigation into these prosecutors who refused to file the charges. Just think that that context is important, considering what he had just said in that debate.
And that's actually what's very disappointing, is you were pointing out to the fact that it's only $25,000 will bring a politician who is so married to corporate culture to his knees. That's what's stunning to me. And I think the other thing that Cynthia Nixon also focused in on, and she got flack from traditional media because they didn't understand what she was really pointing towards, was her focus in on how he handled MTA. And she says basically MTA is his ATM, and he completely, in a very corrupt way, messed up the necessary changes to the MTA, and there's going to be a fee hike coming soon, but there is no change to the service. They're operating on a 100-year-old system, and it's because Cuomo, the MTA received some money from the state, took that money that was supposed to go to the MTA and redirected it to other sort of things that he was more interested in putting money towards, AKA more of his corporate donors.
Yeah, there are no big changes structurally under a Cuomo administration. It's going to be, what you see is what you get.
Right.
And he is married to the corporate structure. He's a corporatist all the way. But I love how he whips out that talking point like he really believes it.
It's a very well-rehearsed.
We got to get money out of politics. Yeah, we do. And then nothing
happens. It's a well-rehearsed talking point, and he does so much damage by using it as a talking point because money in politics is such a serious issue. Corruption, legalized bribery in politics is a serious issue. If you hear it being used by politicians like Cuomo, I just worry that Americans might get fatigued from hearing it, and it'll trigger something that'll make them think that it's nothing more than a talking point. But for a lot of politicians, like Cynthia Nixon, who refuses to take corporate PAC money, this is a real issue that she feels strongly about. And before we continue the conversation, I do want you guys to hear her response to Cuomo. Take a look.
Campaign finance reform is something that Governor Cuomo has been promising ever since he ran in 2010. It's not hard to know how to do campaign finance reform. It's to close the LLC loophole by which corporations can donate an unlimited amount of money to political campaigns. But since taking office, Governor Cuomo has received $16 million through the LLC loophole. That's more than every single legislator in Albany combined.
So she called him out, and as I mentioned earlier, he has been receiving these campaign donations. Just recently, $25,000 from the law firm representing Harvey Weinstein, previously representing Harvey Weinstein.
Can I also just make a point? I know you're going to get angry at me for this, but
no, not at all.
The sign language thing, I feel like with closed captions, can't we now get past the sign language thing, or not?
That's interesting.
I was so surprised because normally, I'll watch things with closed caption if it's a little bit hard to make
I always watch things with closed caption because I can't hear anything.
So I'm used to seeing it. So to see the sign language is just a little odd. Yeah, she did a great thing. She did a total reversal there where she won that point. So if you look at a debate and you're scoring it, that's a TKO, right? He comes through with a talking point, and as Anna says, you hope it's not just a talking point, but in his case, it is just a talking point because he's made no changes to campaign money. But she comes through with specifics. Here's how easily you could have changed things. And so I think at the end of that exchange, Cuomo is just left flat-footed.
Well, to your point about whether or not people will get fatigued hearing campaign finance reform, maybe that could be coded as a talking point versus outwardly saying and explicitly saying, I do not take money from corporations, because that higher standard is something that we need to put back into the debate circuit, right?
Exactly.
Because then how would he respond to that? Have you taken money from corporations?
Yeah,
then he could not. He could not.
That's the only thing actually that was missing in that exchange was that, which is, well, sir, have you taken and the response?
Yeah, I mean, she did call him out on how much he has accepted since becoming governor of New York.
The response, I think, is, look, I act within the law. Should the law be changed? Yes, I'd like to be part of changing that law, but I act within the law. So I don't know that you get much if you call him out that way.
Yes.
But no, I was just going to say, you make the great point, which is it's a great brag. I mean, it's the brag of the new politics, which is I don't take corporate money.
Right, and also I think maybe a couple of years ago it would seem impossible for someone to win an election against an incumbent without taking corporate PAC money, because it puts you at such a significant disadvantage. But now all of a sudden we're seeing progressive candidates who have rejected corporate PAC money winning elections, and AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is just one example. And so it is a powerful message. I think that it sits well with voters, but more importantly, there is evidence of it working. You can win without, going along with the status quo. And I love that. I love seeing that.
Right. Matt Taibbi wrote this great article for Rolling Stone about this debate, saying this is a preview of Democrats versus Democratic Socialists of America. And I think that's also how we need to assess the situation. Is this is going to be the start of many more, as AOC, as Andrew Gillum was the start of many more. And so he also made the point that she probably could have attacked him harder when it came to receiving corporate donations. And that's something he would have loved to see more of, even though the media, traditional media's take on this, which we haven't even discussed, was fascinating. Their whole focus was the fact that that Cuomo announced he wasn't going to run in 2020. And that was it.
Yeah,
They were like, that's the big surprise.
It's amazing. It really is. I mean, in order to actually get a sense of what happened in the debate, you have to sit there, watch the full debate. And you should, especially if you're a New Yorker. Please, this is an important race. Pay close attention. There are real policy issues at hand that impact your life on a daily basis. And even though, based on the last poll that was done, there's a huge gap between Cuomo and Cynthia Nixon, who knows? If you get more people energized to go out there and vote, if you pay closer attention, there's a possibility that she could win. Want to see more videos like this? Well, you can. All you have to do is subscribe to the TYT channel below. And don't forget to become a TYT member and download the TYT Plus app on your phone. Head over to tyt.com/join today.